make the most of everything. As you've given approval, I'll do my very best to provide you all additional joint effort and technological support necessary, within our agreement's scope, of course. Fortunately, assistant work was my exact vocation. Rhodes Island's ambiance is more assuaging than I'd imagined, at least personally speaking. After all, you typically feel medical firms would be nothing but dour to almost insipid researchers. Not to even start on your armed forces to keep the Aripathy-related technologies and personnel safe. In my time at Raytheon, I took part in several project teams, but they mostly bored me. Obviously, one can't complain about their technological prowess, but if all it is fulfilling orders to quota without attempting to inject a little inspiration, doesn't work become just too dull? You seem somewhat mindful of my manner of speech. If possible, I'd like it if you could bear with it. My last project team, whether superiors or juniors, all took up overly polite address that only sent communication efficiency to rock bottom. It posed a headache to me, too. True, work calls for strict treatment and serious accomplishment. But after work is over, you also need to understand keeping a balance and relaxing, which is what lets you adjust your own state and achieve glowing results next time in your work. Do you believe so, Doctor? Have you heard the observation that though many find satisfaction in neat, orderly things, there's a set that feels apprehension in a space holding the same qualities? Yes, every time a rest day passes and I return to a workstation that's been tidied up, I feel suffering. A pileup of overdue reports and files just won't do. The paper shredder? No, Doctor. Don't tell me you wouldn't want to try this environmentally friendly corrosive, able to turn a ream of paper to pulp with a dropper's worth. There's no use? That's true. How about I launch a project to develop a paper-making machine utilizing this pulp? The impression you give may not seem quite like my project manager at Raytheon, but there's some similarities. However, saying this with a wide open heart, you, as a superior, outstrip that unpredictable, outlandish black box of a crackpot project-intending, plan-addled trickster genius by miles. Both Raytheon R&D projects and working together with you have been delightful experiences. I'm finding myself torn between choosing, and I don't mean it as a pleasantry. Perhaps you'd mock my greed, but people like us might just all be greedy. What's your view? Only when you have finished everything at hand can you rest carefree and firm-willed. At this rate, I'm worried you'll... Whatever. With this little left, I can figure it out for you without any worry. Hello there, Doctor. Raytheon Industries Liaison Corroserum. I'm sure you saw the relevant contracts and forms, despite your busy schedule. Now then, do you share any upcoming workflow arrangements? Rhodes Island Pharmaceutical Inc.'s battle records are more interesting than I expected. You've raised your evaluation of me. Thank you. This will be good grounds to include when I apply for another tour here. True, it's worth taking joy in a project's smooth progress, but the evaluation you've given me, in my opinion, seems to have already outclassed my resume. That is to say, do you have further expectations of me? Even greater than this? Ah, another assignment perfect for testing weapons. Of course, I'm very pleased to be working with you, Doctor. This is an anti-corrosive coating spray with no toxic side effect on the human body at all. Given you are all willing to sign the disclaimer and participate in this test, I sincerely hope none of you become collateral damage due to irregular operation in this weapons test. The holiday's always over in the blink of an eye. Well then, let's get to work. I'll be troubling you to make these test targets fall in line a little with our work, Doctor. Do you have any additional directives? You can order me for anything you'd like. Timed just like your simulation. The stressful test phase is now beginning. Can I make sure none of you will surrender just yet? I have an extra project here that needs all your cooperation for testing. I'd like to ensure you all persevere until I can gather enough data. Of course. This is part of work, too. Doctor, this has thrown a slight wrench in things. After all, you've obtained combat results beyond expectations and made it marginally more difficult for my assessment of weapon performance limits to be universal and objective. I'll have to increase the quantity of test samples to ensure accuracy. Was that in your plans, too? A pleasing result. It seems once we return and I finish collating this data, I'll have some spare time for free movement. Well then, do you have any free time coming up, Doctor? Not too ideal in terms of results. Deployment tactics still have room for optimization. Don't you think so, Doctor? Let's not feel down, Doctor. You will find a solution to break this deadlock. After all, you'd like the reports we'll be writing to be worth more than scrap paper, wouldn't you? Is there anything I'd be able to help with? I wouldn't trouble you with a matter this small. Doctor, I assume you're there? Arknights. It's nice to see you, Doctor.